Florida is going to need some massive performances in 2024 against a very tough schedule. We know that we are going to get big time showings from some folks, but who is it that is going to step up for the Gators next year? I was on High Top Sports last week and had to come up with 5 breakout players for the 2024 Gator football season. I did get to share on there, or rather the guy shared it for me, but I want to go a little bit deeper into those players. So let's jump right into it. Chimere Dike, 6'1" wide receiver transfer from Wisconsin. He played with Graham Mertz there. I really think that familiarity is going to help. Graham Mertz lost his favorite target from last season, Ricky Pearsall. So somebody is going to have to, step in there. And obviously Wilson will be a big time target for him, but it's really nice for him to gain somebody who he's got a rapport with. That could really come in very clutch. Dike was honorable mention All Big Ten in 2022, which was his best season at Wisconsin. He started all 13 games that year. He played in all games in 2021. He played in 7 in 2020. He played a lot in 2023 as well, but they got a new offensive coordinator, kind of changed the scheme a little bit. He was targeted less. He had only 19 catches, but he did lead the Badgers with per catch average. He had 17.3 yards per catch, which is pretty impressive. He also missed some time suffering a knee injury against Ohio State. He finished his Wisconsin career with 97 receptions for 1,478 yards. His career average at Wisconsin is 15.2 yards per catch, 9 touchdowns. So this is a guy with a lot of Power 5 experience under his belt and a lot of familiarity with Graham Mertz. Because of that, I expect him to kind of be plug and play. I think that he's somebody that Graham Mertz is going to be really comfortable throwing the ball to. And like I said earlier, that's good since Ricky Pearsall is gone. The next player that I mentioned was Andy Jean. Guys, this is the kid that looked poised to have a breakout season in 2023. But he had a lot of injuries that kind of kept him sidelined most of the season. He only saw action in 4 games. But he has all the physical tools to be a great SEC wide receiver. He runs a 4.4 40, so blazing fast. He can play both outside and in the slot. He's got pretty decent size. He's 6'1", 198-ish pounds. When he is healthy, he is so good. In the limited amount of time we saw him on the field last season, he flashed. He finished with 6 catches for 97 yards, returning 2 kickoffs for 44 yards. Like I said, limited time on the field, but he did make the most of what he got and when he was healthy. He's 100% healthy now. I expect a big season out of him in 2024. Another player that I feel like we just keep talking about on this channel, but I expect that he is going to have a huge, massive season, and that's LJ McCrae. Listen, I know that DJ Lagway was kind of the mantelpiece of this class, right? We needed a top quarterback to come in, 5-star guy, and we got it. But LJ McCrae may end up being the most important piece of this puzzle, at least for the 2024 season. He's a top 10 player in the country. He is already built for college. Man amongst boys, if you watch any of his high school film, he is going to be nasty on the D-line. I am predicting he makes the all-SEC freshman team. He's going to be that good. And listen, with all of the transfers on defense that headed to Texas A&M, there is a huge opening for somebody to come in on that D-line and impact immediately. I really think that McCrae is the person to fill that role. In the final 247 rankings, he moved up from the number 6 player to the number 4 player in the country overall. He is an incredibly versatile defensive lineman, likely to align at the strong side, and he just is going to be so good. Freak athlete, played both ways a lot of his high school career, basketball player, just incredibly talented. Tallied 80 tackles, a whopping 37 for a loss, 13 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 pass breakups, and 1 interception, which, by the way, he returned for a touchdown in just his senior season at Daytona Beach Mainland. This guy is a freak, and he was such an important pickup for Billy Napier. All right, guys, before I get to the rest of my list, listen, 500 subscribers away from 10,000. You got to help me get there. We can do it. We can do it soon. If you're watching these videos, if you like this content and you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. It is the best way to show support on this channel. I'm so close to 10,000. You guys can help me get there. All right, back to the list. Pup Howard, South Carolina transfer. This guy is a good player. He worked his way into the 2 deep as a true freshman last season, saw action in the last 11 games of the season. He's credited with 19 tackles, including 1 for loss, and he logged at least 1 tackle in 9 of the 11 games. Posted a season-high 4 tackles in his very first debut for South Carolina. Furman. He forced a fumble against Vanderbilt. He entered the transfer portal the beginning of January. This is a guy that we finished second for out of high school. Florida really, really wanted him. This is another example of something that we've talked about on this channel so much, that there is value in continuing these relationships. There is value in having a hat on the table. In recruiting, the saying used to be that like you got nothing for second place, right? You didn't want to just have a hat on the table. You had to be the hat that was picked. But in this day and age where people are transferring left and right, continuing to maintain solid relationships with these players, even if you are not who they initially pick, may pay off in the end. This is a really good example of that. I think he's somebody who can really play immediately. His impact is going to take some load off of Shamar James. Florida's linebacking group as a whole, which I kind of think was a position of weakness throughout most of last year, particularly after James got hurt, could really be a position of strength this season. And Pup Howard is going to be a big piece to that puzzle. The last player on my top 5 is Treon Webb. He played in 11 games as a reserve running back last season. He played on special teams, finished the season with 26 carries, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for 14 yards. That was basically because Florida has Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne, who were 2 of the best running backs in college football. So I think Webb probably would have had an expanded role on lots of other teams across the country. But now he has big shoes to fill. Etienne's role. I mean, that's who he's going to be taking over for, right? Together with Montrell Johnson and potentially Cam Carroll, Webb is going to be expected to continue Florida's recent running game success. A big part of Napier's offense is this running game, and Webb is going to have a really huge opportunity to contribute a lot early. He's going to get a lot of carries every single week. Kind of excited to see what he can do with this opportunity. And, this is an opportunity that he wasn't necessarily expecting was going to happen this upcoming season because, we didn't know that Etienne was going to transfer until it happened. So, an unexpected opportunity from him that I definitely expect him to make the very most of. So what do you think of my top 5s? Who would you add to the list? Who would be your breakout players for this upcoming 2024 season? Let's chat about it down in the comments. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and look forward to talking with all of you guys soon. Go Gators!